Maya. I do not remember my first mother's face clearly. People think that is strange, but it is. I was very young when she died. What I remember instead are feelings: warmth, safety, the sound of bangles when she moved her hands, the way her lap felt when I rested my head there after crying when she died. No one explained it to me properly. They said words like gone, God, strong girl. None of those words made sense to me. All I knew was that the house became silent, and that silence scared me more than darkness ever could. At night, I waited for her. I believed she had gone somewhere angry, and if I behaved well enough, she would come back. Children often believe such foolish things. I stopped asking for toys. I stopped complaining. I tried to become invisible because I thought maybe my noise had driven her away. She never returned. My father loved me. I know that now. But grief made him distant. He spoke less, smiled rarely. He worked long hours and came home exhausted. When I cried, he froze, as if my tears reminded him of something he could not survive again. So I learned to cry quietly. Loneliness became normal to me. I grew used to it, the way people grow used to pain that does not leave. Anita came into our house 2 years later. She did not look like my mother. She did not smell like her. She did not touch my things without permission. At first, I hated her not because she was cruel, but because her presence felt like betrayal. But Anita was patient. She did not force love. She waited for it when I fell sick. She stayed awake all night. When I refused to eat, she cooked again. When I cried missing someone I barely remembered, she held me without asking questions. Slowly, very slowly, I stopped pushing her away. One night, while half asleep, I called her Ma. The word slipped out without thinking. She froze. Then she hugged me so tightly that I felt her heart beating wildly. She cried silently, careful not to wake me. That night, something changed between us forever. From then on, she became my world. People say forgetting is cruel, but forgetting was survival. As years passed, my first mother became a blur, an outline fading in old photographs. Anita became the one who braided my hair, waited for me during exams, defended me fiercely when the world hurt me. She loved me deeply, possessively, protectively. I thought that was normal. I thought that was what mothers did. I grew into a woman who believed in loyalty above all else. Because I had lost once, I believed love must be protected at any cost. When I met Rohan, he felt safe. He was calm, respectful, thoughtful. He spoke kindly to Anita, touched her feet, praised her for raising me well. That mattered to me more than flowers or promises. When we married, Anita held my face and said, "You are my greatest blessing." I believed her. I moved into a house not far away, close enough to remain a daughter, close enough to remain a wife. I believed I had balanced love perfectly. Looking back, I see everything clearly now. But then I saw nothing. Rohan stopped visiting my parents' house with me. He said he was busy. Anita began visiting my house more often, sometimes when I wasn't home. She said she worried about me. Conversations changed when I entered rooms. Phone calls ended suddenly. Silences grew heavier. Neighbors tried to warn me. They spoke gently, carefully, as if afraid of breaking me. But I laughed it off. How could they? I thought. My husband and my mother. I trusted blindly because doubting them felt like betraying myself. That day was ordinary. That is what hurts the most. I came home early, carrying sweets for my mother. I wanted to surprise her. The door was open. I called out, no answer. Then I heard voices low, close, intimate. When I saw them, my body went numb. They stood too close. Their hands, their faces, everything screamed a truth my heart refused to accept. The ground beneath my feet did not literally shake. But inside me, something collapsed so violently that I thought I might disappear. My mother, the woman who raised me, my husband, the man who promised to protect me. Together, I did not scream. I did not cry. I simply understood that my life, as I knew it, was over. Betrayal does not arrive like fire. It arrives like cold. I felt empty, hollow, as if every memory I owned suddenly questioned itself. Was her love real? Was his love ever mine? Had I been blind? Or had I simply trusted too deeply? They begged. They cried. They apologized. But something inside me had already died that night. I did not go home. I walked. I don't remember where my feet took me. Roads blurred. Faces passed. The city moved around me as if nothing had happened, as if my world had not just collapsed. I kept thinking, this cannot be real. If I kept walking long enough, maybe reality would correct itself. But pain does not disappear when ignored. It follows quietly. I sat on a bench until dawn, staring at my hands. These were the same hands that touched my mother's feet every morning. The same hands that held my husband's face with love. Suddenly, they felt unfamiliar, like they belonged to someone foolish. When the sun rose, I realized something terrible. I had nowhere I wanted to go. I went back to my house only to collect my things. Rohan was waiting. His eyes were red. His voice shook. He tried to speak, but I raised my hand. Please, I said softly. Not now. I did not hate him in that moment. I felt something worse, indifference mixed with disappointment. He followed me as I packed. Maya, it was a mistake, he said. Then why did it happen more than once? I asked quietly. He had no answer. Silence is often the loudest confession. Facing my husband hurt. Facing my mother destroyed me. I went to her house the next day. She looked smaller than I remembered. Older. Broken. When she saw me, she cried like a child, loud, desperate, uncontrollable. I never wanted this, she said. I loved you too much, she said. I was lonely, she said. Each sentence felt like another knife. I asked her only one question. When you looked at me, did you feel guilty? She couldn't meet my eyes. That was my answer. People think betrayal hurts because of what is taken from you. That isn't true. It hurts because it rewrites your past. Every memory became suspicious. Her hugs, her concern, her presence in my home. I began questioning love itself. Was it protection or possession? Was it care or control? I realized something painful. My mother had not just loved me. She had needed me. And when I grew up, when my life no longer revolved around her, that need turned into something unhealthy. Understanding did not reduce the pain, but it gave it shape. I left both homes. I moved to a small rented room where no one knew me, not as a daughter, not as a wife, just as Maya. The nights were the hardest. Silence returned. this time, it wasn't empty. It was heavy, full of memories knocking at the door of my mind. I cried quietly, the way I learned as a child. Some habits never leave. Healing did not come dramatically. It came in small, ordinary ways. I learned to drink tea alone without feeling abandoned. I learned to sleep without listening for footsteps. I learned that loneliness does not mean unworthiness. Some days I missed my mother terribly. Some days I missed the woman I thought she was. Those are not the same thing. People asked me if I forgave them. Forgiveness is a strange word. I did not forgive to free them. I forgave to free myself. But forgiveness did not mean return. Some doors close quietly, not in anger, but in wisdom. Love is no longer blind for me. Love must respect boundaries. Love must protect, not consume. Love must never ask you to disappear. I survived losing a mother twice. Once to death, once to betrayal, and I am still here. I had not spoken to my mother for months. Not because I hated her, not because I wanted revenge, but because some wounds bleed again when touched too soon. Then one afternoon, a message came. She wanted to see me, not at home, not in the past, at a small temple near the river, the one she used to take me to when I was a child. My hands trembled when I read it. I thought about refusing. I thought about protecting the fragile peace I had built. But there are some calls you cannot ignore, not because you are weak, but because you are human. So I went. She was already there when I arrived, sitting on a stone bench. Thin, pale, smaller than I remembered. Time had finally done what guilt could not. It had bent her when she saw me. She stood up slowly, as if afraid I might disappear. Maya, she said, just my name, no beta, no come home, no excuses. We sat in silence for a long time. The river moved beside us, indifferent to human pain. Then she spoke. I am not here to justify myself, she said. I am not here to ask you to forgive me. Voice shook, but she did not cry. I destroyed the one relationship that gave my life meaning. That sentence hurt more than all her tears ever had. She looked at me then, really looked at me. I was selfish, she said. I loved you, but I also needed you. And when you no longer belonged only to me, I failed you as a mother for the first time. She did not hide. I forgot my place, she whispered. And I forgot that love without boundaries becomes sin, rolled down her face. I am sorry, Maya. Not as your second mother, not as a woman who was lonely, but as a human being who chose wrong. I felt something break inside me, not anger, grief. I did not shout, I did not accuse. I said only this: you were my home. And homes are not supposed to hurt you. She closed her eyes. I know, she said. That is why I will carry this until my last breath. I held her hand, not because everything was healed, but because this was goodbye. A week later, she fell ill, then suddenly, very ill. Doctors spoke in careful voices. Words like time and condition floated around, but I understood the truth without needing details. She asked for me again. I went. She lay on the bed, fragile, breathing shallowly. When she saw me, relief crossed her face, as if she had been waiting only for this. I'm glad you came, she whispered. I nodded. She held my hand weakly. I hope, she said, that when you remember me, you remember that I loved you, even if I loved you wrongly. I swallowed my tears. I will remember, I said, everything. She smiled faintly. And then, quietly, she was gone. I did not scream. I did not collapse. I cried the way rain falls after a long drought, soft, steady, necessary. I mourned her twice. Once for the mother she had been. Once for the mother she failed to remain. Both were real. Both deserved grief. People ask me now how I feel. I tell them the truth. I loved her. She betrayed me. She apologized. She died. All of these things can exist together. Life is not clean. Love is not simple. People are not only good or bad, they are weak, complicated, human. I carry her memory with honesty now, not idealized, not poisoned, just real. I do not rush into love. I do not run from it either. I know now that love must be chosen every day with responsibility, with restraint, with respect. I survived losing a mother 3 times. If you liked this story, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support means a lot to me. I will be back soon with more stories to help you learn English. Take care and remember, you are strong, you are brave, you deserve love and respect. See you next time.